For no apparent reason. No, hold on. Here we go.
Hate you.
One of those things like stop the presses that you just always want to say it.
No, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. Trust me. I run a print shop. You do not want that.
Oh, you want it? Well, no, I want to say it. You don't want to hear it because you work in a print shop.
Yeah. Not the presses. Only if you have a cigar in your mouth.
Yeah, really.
And you sound like Fred Mertz.
All right, here we go. Welcome to another episode of Help Me Rocks. Tonight's guest expert from the website of Doom, Mars Needs Podcasts, and the Drive-In, Portland's Pride and Joy, J.J. Hawkins. Got a problem? She can help. Just call 404-382-0769. Now, here she is, the mistress of advice, the Madam Info, the queen of the hobos, Rocks of Spaz House.
Let's get ready to rumble. That always sounds great, John. Thank you. And thank you, J.J. Hawkins from website of Doom and Mars Needs Podcasts.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
I'm glad. You know, we waited a long time to get you, to book you on this show.
I know. I felt so bad. I mean, this entire episode's been on hold for almost a month just because I didn't have much free time. So thank you.
That's okay. I know that we might have a few items because you're our guest expert for this time. You are an actor, correct?
True. And
you are a baker, correct?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay. And from that one obscure game show, you actually came up with kind of a recipe several times for really unique items, such as Humpty Dumpty omelets.
Yes, actually, yeah, that was Misty Lee tended to bring out the cook in me because that's the kind of question she kept asking.
Yes. So slaughtering a full family of eggs is no problem for you.
Oh, eggs. They don't even fight back, the little wusses.
Well, they're huge, too. So an omelet the size of Humpty Dumpty, how many people would it feed?
Well, you figure, roughly 3 eggs to a person. You figure if Humpty Dumpty is, let's just say 4 feet high, I'm going to say Humpty Dumpty would probably feed a good 25 if they're hungry, 30 if you just want to, if you want to stretch it out a bit.
Wow, Humpty Dumpty 4 feet tall. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime you see him...
He's not really big. It's like a midget egg.
I'd still say 4 feet is a fair... If you put 4 feet next to an average human, that's still a fairly small...
But okay, I know people that do not like small things. They sidle and they do weird things. So creeps a neighbor lady out. Just saying.
I have a good friend who's a dwarf, and she loves to sneak up on people and run at them.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Sidling is one of her favorite hobbies.
That's awesome. And you come from Portland. Yes. Apparently the nation's friendliest city because people are so fucking friendly from what I understand from the zine Bikes, Bridges, and Beer. Do you know that zine?
Yeah, well, I heard you talk about it.
I thought you knew them.
No, I don't know them. I wish I did, but no. Okay, so see, I heard you say that, but I also know that I grew up in Mississippi, which is called the hospitality state. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, I would say people are friendly there. I'd say people are friendly here. I lived in L.A., and as long as the Lakers are winning, people are friendly there. I imagine now that the Kings won, they're probably pretty friendly. L.A. seems to be a very sports-oriented town. Now, I will take some issue to something that was said on a Weekend Justice a while ago, and that was that our crackheads are worse than Atlanta's crackheads.
Oh, that wasn't me.
I'm not going to say who.
Who? No. Who was it?
It was you, John. I learned it from listening to you.
I did because of you, Dad.
See, you learned it from a person that's just visiting about your own city. How sad.
my point, I will say that now most of the crackheads here in Portland, you can kind of just wiggle something shiny at them. And however, when last time I was in Atlanta, we were outside a bar and we got surrounded like velociraptors. And so you just kind of had to look at one of them and go, "Ooh, clever girl," and run inside.
Well, the funny thing is certain guests of Dragon Con will actually kind of panhandle cigarettes. I've seen that happen.
Give me a cigarette.
Yeah, yes. I saw it with my own eyes. So thank you for joining us on this crazy We Give Out Advice. Oh, here's something interesting, John. We need to boost our numbers up so that we can get on the reality show. Either A&E has it or Bravo. There's a show about 3 different advice giver-outers, sages, if you will. And I guess it's a reality show from 3 different cities. So we need to be part of that for next season, at least. Somehow.
I'll get right on that, Rox.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Hey, Rox.
The Real World is filming here in Portland, so maybe we can get.
Oh my God! Do they still do that?
Apparently they do. I thought they were done, but yeah, they just announced they're coming here.
I've got the first problem I need you to solve, Rox.
All right, thanks.
How do we get on national television? You solve that for me?
We need to at least cause some sort of ruckus that will get us onto the Today Show. That to me sounds like the easiest way to do it. If you can get noticed on the Today Show, because they gave airtime to this guy, big old guy, and his daughter who were on, an amusement ride, and they videotaped this guy, and this guy screamed the entire 30 seconds you're on the ride, and they had him on the Today Show. So what we need to do, we need to figure out a way of getting on the Today Show and like Good Morning America. Personally, I'd like to get on the Morning Joe show, but those 2 would be a good one to do. So we need to do some sort of pratfall or something that will get us going on viral. It'll go hits, and somehow we need it posted on YouTube somehow, so we can get on the Today Show, and we can all get a free trip. And since it would be like my show, I'd invite you, John. You can bring your kids, depending on where it is. You might get invited, JJ, but we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awfully nice of you.
So we'll all get a free trip to New York City.
New York City. All right, we actually do have some calls. You want to start with our buddy, cynical 13-year-old?
Yes.
Who, by the way, sent in an MP3 to Help Me Rocks at needcoffee.com. And if you too want to do it, because his sound quality is the best by far of everybody's, if you want to do that, you can also send an MP3 with your question, or you can call. What number is that, Rox?
404-382-0769.
All right. Oh. Here's cynical 13-year-olds. I think it's sort of an update too, but here we go.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Rox, it's cynical 13-year-old, and I've got 3 really quick things to tell you. But first, I wanted to tell you how I myself am becoming a junior problem solver like yourself. Because, if you remember, the new phone line is a toll, and I refuse to give any money to those bastard toll services. So, I've recorded this message on my tape recorder, which I'll get to later, and uploaded it to my computer and emailed it to you. And...
Hold on 1 second.
He used a tape recorder!
That's what I want to talk about.
Wow! Yeah, wow, that's like what kind of tape recorder did you use? Panasonic? Tape recorder. Where do you find tape?
That would be the first.
Can you get tapes anymore? Cassette tapes?
I had to buy them. I had to buy one last year. You can still buy them at the grocery store. They're just in the dusty section. Like,
how much are they?
Actually, it was kind of expensive because you know how you used to in the old days.
Yeah, it was like $5.99 for 2 Maxells. I remember that because Maxells were really good. I liked them.
They only had 120-minute tapes, and it was like $6 for one. I was kind of surprised.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, back to
So, okay, if you want cassette tapes, go to your Walmarts and stuff. But be aware, this is a problem. You'll pay a lot of money for it. Go ahead.
All right.
As I mentioned, I would get back to the tape recorder. I've been making these tapes lately, like Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks, recording what's going on in my life. Hold on, I gotta take a breath. And I just have nothing to do with these tapes. I'm just recording my life. What do you think I should do? I was thinking autobiography, but my life's not that interesting, so I'll leave it up to you. And my second question. I really want to be a private detective in my town. A little, like male Veronica Mars, not in high school, solving mysteries and murders. But my town is just so boring, there aren't any mysteries or, unfortunately, any murders. What should I do? Should I look further for mysteries? Should I start murdering people and blaming it on others and investigating it? I don't know. And finally, a really quick update. I know I broke the pattern here and I wasn't talking about girls, but that's getting progressively more and more complicated. I'll just tell you this. The girl that I got all the help from you about, that didn't work out at all. But there's hope.
Sorry.
I found out it's really, really complicated. I'll check back later with more details and possibly more updates. So, thank you for the great show. Keep it up.
The funny thing is, it's almost he pauses for us to interject.
He is awesome.
He's got some really good skills with that tape recorder. Really does.
He never got back to tape recorder though.
No.
Well, he said he didn't know what to do with it. He just didn't tell us exactly what it was.
Wow, a tape recorder. Well, what you can do is ditch the tape recorder. As nice and steampunky it is now, I'd ditch it. Get yourself an MP3 recorder, because then you can upload it, and you can actually start your own blog, and then you can actually store your MP3s on your blog. People can download it. You can go on, oh my gosh, you can call it crime solving or something. Yes, there you go. What is that?
I have fallen in love with this. This is this is only for the people who can see.
JJ is showing us this it's like a size of a small brick.
Yeah, it is. It's a Zoom H4n, which you can buy on Amazon through the Need Coffee feed. And it has the thing that I love. It does phantom power, so you can use compressor mics. You can plug in 2 mics at the bottom, or it's got 2 mics at the top, and it records onto an SD card. It can record in waveform or in MP3, and this is the handiest thing that I have picked up in a long time. I mean, this is a podcast.
It looks like a tricorder, kids.
It does. I mean, if I was just getting started at recording things or doing podcasts and I hadn't invested in all of the equipment that I normally use, this is what I would use. And now this is what I use for anytime I have like person-to-person stuff. This is what I use, and it's what I was planning on taking to DragonCon, because you can actually just shove it in people's face and say, "Hey, tell me a story."
Now,
so how much does it retail?
This was it's pricey for a recorder, but you get what you pay for.
It's nice.
$2.99.
How much?
$2.99.
Okay.
Now, if you notice, JJ, on the bottom, you probably already know this, but not on the bottom. Well, yeah. First of all, XLR in. But the on the back is what I meant. There's actually it's a standard screw for mounting it to a tripod or whatnot.
Yeah.
And some people will take it and actually mount it on top of their video cameras as well, or on a adjustment swing out bar, if you will, and record the audio, because it actually has better recording, and it can also be backup too, recording audio than the standard built-in cameras for video cameras. So
yeah, and you can also, if you're doing say like an independent film, and you don't want to spend the money on a boom mic, you can use a lavalier and use it like a battery pack and stick it in your back.
And wow!
The audio later. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
That's
does it suppress the ambient noise too?
To some extent.
How much really?
I find that if you're using a mic, it's as good as the mic you plug into it. Mm-hmm. But by the same token, I've been doing audio stuff long enough now that I can like post production get rid of a lot of hiss if it's not. if it's too bad over the spoken word, then you just kind of have to live with it. But with a decent lavalier mic, you can do a pretty good job.
Oh, that's okay. So first off, cynical 13-year-old, ditch the recorder. The thing is you're going to be your house is going to get stacks and stacks of cassettes. Yeah. You won't know what they are. You forget your pen, marking down what you've got. So ditch that. Okay, you might not have the money for JJ's swanky little toy, and it's sweet looking, but you can do a good job with if you have an iTouch or something, or even really one of those cheapo ones. Then you can upload it, you can label it, and you can hoard on your computer instead of hoarding all cassettes in your house, because, it just looks tacky. And you know what? Nobody has those brackets that hang on the walls anymore that store cassettes anymore. Those are hard to find. So just like finding cassettes, finding the rack will be, just as expensive.
Finding the rack, by the way, is also something you do at 13.
Yeah, there you go. So the second part is you want to be a private eye. That's exciting. Yes.
Should he be murdering people?
No.
Okay.
You start small. Here's the thing about private eyes. They can do a lot of stuff.
Again, something you do.
I only know this because here's the weird thing is I'm designing this one guy. He's a private eye. And I'm designing his business card. So I really wanted something cool in 1930s like. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, no. It'll be really cool. Put a little seal and really use old typeface on it. I said it would be awesome. So what you can do is you can spy on people. Okay, not really. Okay, Miss Marple from Agatha Christie, she lived in a small village and there was crime all around her. So even though you live in a small village or a hamlet or whatever, you can find things. What private eyes do, they'll do stuff like surveillance, people who are cheating on each other. Say, you know what? You can start small in your own school. If, like, the football captain is cheating on a cheerleader that he's been dating, you can go up to her and say, I can find that out if he is really, really cheating on you. Now, make sure you get a good camera, and probably a good voice recorder, too, so you can catch him in the act. So, you can charge your own, classmates. So you can start that way. You may want to look into being a bodyguard. This is what this guy does. A notary. Notary is really good and handy because then you could notarize official documents, like, hey, I sold, this washer to down the street. I need it notarized. Stuff like that. So there's a lot of things you can do as a private eye. Do you know any private eyes there, JJ?
Watching you.
Have you ever played a private eye in your acting career?
I have directed a private eye comedy.
Okay.
Where the first half was the setup, quote unquote, for a murder mystery, and the second half, the audience actually got to ask the cast members, and you were supposed to like improv your alibi, and then the audience would actually pick who they thought did it. And of course, there were 7 members of the cast, so there were 7 different endings, and whoever the audience chose, of course, was the guilty one. But what I would say now, if he really wants to investigate a murder, because he sounded pretty excited about that, you don't want to commit a murder because, quite frankly, that's not an interesting thing.
Not really.
Because you know who did it. You were there. Yeah. It's like the beginning. It's like the difference between like a Columbo, where they show you who did it at the beginning. I think and then the murder mysteries that don't show you, and you actually have to watch them. So what I would say is have one of your friends get a cabal of friends, and then pick pieces of paper out of a hat, so you have no idea who they are. You don't even know who they picked. And then one of that secret cabal picks a name out of a hat, they go kill somebody, and then you can find them, and you can't lead it back to you. It's just like Alfred Hitchcock with Strangers on a Train. You have no alibi, or you have no connection, so you have no motive. Yeah. And then we get...
You do my murder, I'll do yours. Nobody will ever know. Here's something, too, 13-year-old. Watch the Rockford Files. If you want to be a cool private eye, you want to be Jim Rockford. Would you agree? He was cool. Yeah.
Great theme song.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, even if you just watch the opening, listen to the theme song, and cut it off, which you'd be ashamed because Rockford was cool. But man, it's a great theme song.
How did it go, JJ? Hum a few bars.
It would be like that.
All right, that's enough.
Oh yeah, kind of.
The MPA is coming out.
Wah guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do the unless you also want to sort of merge it with Murder, She Wrote, because then you could, blog about your exploits. The thing is you could even do surveillance for like a grocery store or a little mom and pop thing. If the owner is finding that there's a lot of theft going on, you could actually say, "Hey, I'm a would-be private eye. Can I be a secret?" Here's another thing: you could be a secret shopper. Nobody knows about these people. What they do is they go in
secret
to see
shoppers for a reason.
Yeah, what they do is they go in and see that the employees are polite and they're doing their job, and you can also see if other customers are not stealing and stuff. Because
it's secret shopper, you can be better than a lot of them. Because speaking as someone who worked for almost 7 years for a place that we used to get secret shopped at least every 30 days, you can spot those people a mile away.
Yeah. See, nobody will expect a 13-year-old.
It's the trench coat, the fedora, oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, just knocked over my beer.
So there you go. There, you're on your way of being a private eye.
A Seamus, a gumshoe.
Gumshoe, yeah.
Guys, I have another problem that I need you to help with there, JJ.
Okay.
Which is that I'm out of beer, so I need to go get some more beer in my fridge here. Why don't you go ahead and read the email from Mike? You have that with you?
Mike. I have two that you gave me. I don't see one that's Mike.
It was forwarded to you.
I see it, but I don't see. There's 3 questions on here. None of them say Mike, sir.
No. Okay, never mind.
Just read one.
I'll read it. No. It's this one.
That one. Okay, wait. I just realized what you wanted me to read.
Yes.
His directions are not.
It was also a segue, JJ.
I get it. I'm a little slow, but now I get it. Okay, rocks. I caught on finally, so I can read this to you.
I know. Trust me. He does that to me.
Okay, so it says, "Hey, rocks. I have a question that I know you'll be able to help me with, and if you can't, then there certainly can't be a useful answer to the question. I'm looking into getting to the whole beer society thing, but the problem is, I've never ever been slightly interested in beer. This is probably because I can't even stand the smell. Though, to be fair, I've only been afflicted with the likes of Bud Light, Coors, etc., which, as Monty Pythons were wont to say, is like making love in a rowboat. So my twofold question is this. 1, what is the best beer you've had ever? 2, what is the best beer you can recommend that will be readily available at any reasonably distanced purveyor of goods? Thanks, Rocks, and I look forward to your answer and the answer of anyone else who will be able to help with a recommendation."
Have you noticed, when the older you get, the more you appreciate beer? JJ?
Yes. I know that when I first discovered it at 17 or so.
Yeah.
Like everyone, it was incredibly bitter. Now scientific studies have shown that part of the reason little kids don't like vegetables is because their palates are so sensitive that they can't handle bitter things. Right. And actually, as we get older, our bitter senses just die off. And so we don't have, as older people, we don't necessarily taste the
So we're more likely to eat poison that young kids wouldn't.
We have no taste, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, lived long enough that if we have poison, they're like, make your way for someone younger, whatever.
Well, during my drinking years in college, I always went for well drinks. Yes, they were cheap, but, I didn't really care for beer because we had Rolling Rock and Genesee and crap beer, Mm-hmm. It was crap.
Yeah.
So I would always, whiskey sour was my thing. Slow gin. I would go for the alcohol mix. stuff.
I find that, and that's another thing, is as you grow up and your tastes change, you kind of work your way through the spirits. Like when I was younger, it was vodka all the way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's like the first liquor you really hold on to, because, you know, a screwdriver or like vodka in any kind of soda, you know, it's exactly. But then as you go, then I made my way through bourbons, and bourbons are richer, but they're a little sweeter. And now I'm more of a whiskey person.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, the funny thing is I've always been a Scotch drinker, but lately, in the last couple years, I have gone and moved into the whole, and I think this helps with the microbrews. You know, that now we have access to really good beer, opposed to the conglomerate giants that just throw swill at you.
Yes.
The funny thing is I recommended a beer at a Christmas party to a guy that would drink one of those Bud Light things. I'm like, here, try one of these, you know, Dead Man Rogue, whatever ones. Right. He couldn't handle it. Yeah, he couldn't handle it. It's like, what the hell is that? I'm like, it's good. Well, he's like, you drink those? I'm like, yes, these are really good.
It's a really rich flavor, though. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if somebody doesn't like beer, you don't hand them a Guinness.
No. So I think if Mike is in that sort of still sweet territory, a pale ale, yes, that's sort of like the Sierras are good. You know, they have a mix of like blueberries and stuff. They're sunny.
You have to be a little careful with that, though, because pale ales can sometimes get a little hoppy. And so that's why I'm thinking
the mix. You know, the kind that have like the blueberry and the stuff.
There's a lot of summer brews now that'll have like berries, or I mean, because I haven't seen it in a while, but I used to be really, really fond of Pete's Wicked Strawberry Blonde.
Yeah, that's good.
And I haven't seen that in forever. But I mean, they also, you know, a lot of like summer ales will have something it's a lighter beer, and they'll just automatically put lemon in it. If you get a Hefeweizen
I was just about to say that. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, in most bars, if you get a Hefeweizen, it'll come with a wedge of lemon in it already, and that'll cut a lot of the bitterness.
Here's an idea for you, Mike. You can actually have your own beer tasting party. And I know Publix does this, and Publix actually, I don't know if you have a Publix, but a lot of now grocery stores will actually sell single beers, so you can actually build your own 6-pack, okay? And what you could do is you can throw like a little party, not a lot, and it's a beer tasting. It's not that you're going to be swigging. What you can do is, everybody, you can go to like Einstein's and pick up the little paper shot glasses and stuff, and you can actually do blind taste testing. And then you can, your friends are all there, and it's fun. And, you get and I think a 6-pack from Publix is like $9. But you can actually mix and match. So you can get like your oatmeal stouts, which are really strong and really heady, and they have a really forceful, and you can go with light ones too. So I would say incorporate your friends to help you out with some of your beer tastes and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
And if you're doing a flight like that, where you're trying a bunch of different ones, I mean, just if someone is like just learning,
put a pad, mark it down.
That's a great idea. And just remember, as you're tasting through them, beer color is kind of an indication. I mean, the lighter the color, the lighter the flavor. The darker the color, the stronger and more bitter the flavor. So if you're just trying to get your palate used to it, you'll probably want something that's on the lighter scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just use small shot glasses. Don't be intimidated that you have to, buy a ton of beer. It's a taste testing. It's a little party thing, and if people want to bring more, then let them have it. But I think everybody should, take a little. Then you know what you like or what you can try.
And I would say that if you go to some of the restaurants, like I was just in JJ's hometown, Portland, and they have a lot of microbrewery restaurants up there.
Oh yeah,
and they usually do offer a flight, so it'll be a little bigger than a shot glass, but usually about 4 to 6 ounces Usually, I think is what the size is.
Yeah, and
you get
they'll
6
have
of
like
them.
little.
Yeah, you get 6 of them, and you find out what you like. I would suggest, though, if you're starting with beer, you stay away from like the IPAs and things like that because you're not going to be used to the hoppiness and whatnot, and the alcohol would be another thing too.
That's another thing too. Just if you're starting out and you're not sure, look at the alcohol content. On how high you want it. Just start out at a medium level.
And he also asked what your the best beer you've ever tasted was.
Oh man, I really like the old Rasputins. Those are really good, and it's a imperial stout. I like the other imperial stout that's done by the Arrogant Bastard.
Oh God, I hate that.
That's a nice one.
That's a nice one, and they also have one. They have a variation of that that's really, really good. So I like the Russian Imperial stouts.
I'm not a big fan of the Arrogant Bastard. JJ, what about you?
Well, I mean, the fast answer is I love Guinness. I love the strong dark flavor of it. And being Irish American, it just sort of feels like that's what I'm supposed to go towards. But if I don't want anything that heavy, I'm a big fan of red ales. Like there's one that's actually made about 3 blocks from where I live called Proletariat Red. It's by Lompoc Brewing, and it's quite tasty.
And you know what? Here's too. If you have a microbrew in your town, frequent them.
And just popping up all over the place.
Yes, and they'll do taste testings.
What's the name of the? Well, this is going to be. It's not, kind of a difficult question to answer, JJ, but around the corner, probably about 3 blocks down from what the heck's the name of the bookstore now in your town? Pals. There's a microbrewery out there in a restaurant. What's the name of that place? Do you know?
If it's on the same street, you're probably thinking of Weinhard's.
Nope.
No.
Wrong.
Something else.
Wrong.
Anyway, I went there. They have a. This describes.
This coming from the man that
everywhere
doesn't know his own crack addicts. So
I would say it's probably either a Bridgeport. There's a Bridgeport in that neighborhood. There's a couple of rogue places in the neighborhood.
I think it's Bridgeport. I think it might be Bridgeport. Do they have a restaurant there too? Is it fairly large?
Yeah,
restaurant?
and it's not that far. Was it kind of a? Did they have long tables and stuff?
Yes.
Like an old-fashioned mead hall.
Yeah, and it had like a garage door opened up to the outside.
That's Bridgeport.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, that's where I went, and I had the flight there, which was very nice.
Yeah.
For me, for the best beer I've ever tasted, still to this day, actually it was out of the tap in Atlanta at Dragon Con, which was, and I never know if it's Duvel or Duval. I think it's Duvel, but it's a triple. And of course, it was like $14 a glass.
Where did you get that?
I buy it now in the bottle, of course. But
no, but who in Atlanta had that?
It was what's the third hotel away from the first hotel that started Dragon Con?
So 3 hotels away from the Sheraton. God knows.
No. The hotel closest to Sheraton that's in the main 3.
Hilton.
Is it the Hilton? I never know if it's a Hilton or if it's a Marriott.
The Hilton's got Trader Vic, so is it in Trader Vic?
Yeah. It's not in Trader Vic's. It's in the bar that's there on the.
So it's upstairs. Yeah, that's a good bar. Yeah.
Oh well, that does. If you paid that much for it, that doesn't mean much because it's fucking.
Yeah, there's a package store over on Peachtree.
It's $7 for a bottle of that thing. So
yeah,
normally.
a
large bottle.
I would also say before we drop this subject entirely, especially to somebody who's just getting started out and it doesn't, they're not that popular in the United States yet, but don't be afraid of ciders. Hard ciders are awesome.
Oh, Angry Orchard. I think that's what it's named. Those are really good.
I think
we just tried some, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. And ciders range from either very sweet to I've had some that are so yeasty that you can't really distinguish them from beer. But for the most part, they tend to be a little bit lighter. They're a little sugary, so you have to be careful when you drink them because
sugar headache, sugar rush later on.
And they also help with the dehydration. Which remember, people, if you've been out drinking, drink water before you go to bed. It'll help you from your hangover the next day.
Yes.
Yep.
That's why there's like 3 bottles of water on my bedside at all times. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of taste, here's someone who has a question about some bad food.
Hello, Rox. This is Kevin, and I have a question for you. It's really sort of a problem that I've got. I have a friend whose husband is a chef, see, and he's actually a head chef at 2 different restaurants. And we got to talking, I don't know, about a month ago, and I promised her that I would go to these different restaurants, both of them, and try out his food, because it's just supposed to be stellar, just really, really wonderful. Anyway, about a month ago, I went to a mutual friend's wedding. And the caterer was not this fellow, but it was a friend of his. And he went on and on and on about how wonderful the catering was. So I went over there and I tried a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it was awful. I mean, it was really bad. But this guy, my friend's husband, the chef, just sat there and stuffed his gob full of the Swedish meatballs and shrimp and all of this stuff, which was not good. And the whole time he's raving about how wonderful it is. So now I'm thinking this guy does not know what good food is, and I'm screwed because I've already said that I'm going to go to his restaurant. What I want to know is how do I get out of this? I feel terrible. Please help me, Rox. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, here's something really weird. Have you ever noticed in like cooking shows, and I have known chefs, why are they all smokers? And the thing is you're ruining your taste buds. So obviously this guy might be a smoker, so he can't taste his food. What do you think of that? You're a baker.
Yeah, well, and I've worked in many a kitchen. I'm baking now, but I've worked in many a kitchen, and cooks smoke because of stress. The thing that people don't realize about restaurant work is it's a never-ending deadline. It's not like you get finished and can go home.
It's like printing.
Yeah, close your door. But until you close your door, there's always somebody that wants something from you. And so if you either thrive in that environment or you get really stressed out, and a lot of people, even if they do kind of thrive in it, they have their vices. They smoke, they swear, they drink.
So okay, you got somebody like Anthony Bourdain who isn't really cooking, but he's still smoking.
Right. Actually, he recently quit. So.
Okay. So now does he now the thing is does he think food's better?
Well, I don't know. I mean, because the thing is, as we already established, your palate changes, and not only that, it changes through your different, your different life choices and stuff. So, like when it's been almost 20 years ago now when I first became a vegetarian, and once you stop eating meat and you stop ingesting these things that are just naturally high in oils and fats, food automatically starts tasting a lot different. Like the first thing I noticed was when I had I'd had like carrot juice before, and then after becoming a vegetarian, I had a glass of carrot juice, and as hippie as that sounds, but it was something I did like a long time ago because I was like, it's something you're supposed to do for health food, and then I drank one after I became a vegetarian, and I was working in a vegan restaurant, and all of a sudden it's like, holy crap, this tastes like chocolate milk, because they're very sugary, they're roots and they're very sugary, but your palate can't handle all of that. So I don't know exactly where I was going with that, but it's a story, and now I'm in.
All right. You know what you should do, Kevin, is hire cynical 13-year-old as a mystery shopper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, here's the thing: is he could always either the wife of the chef is expecting him to show up at the place so that they can get money from him. I mean, it's like if you have friends who are musicians. You know this. It's like, oh, hey, we're having a party. You know, hoping they'll come over and bring their instruments, and that's poor taste. You know, either you go to the restaurant, invited like when it opens up, so that everybody can try the food. The thing is okay. You know the hierarchy. So you have a head chef, right? And then there's like all the underlings, the sous chef and stuff. So he might not be all doing all the work, right?
Generally speaking, he won't do a lot of the work, but if he's a decent head chef, he'll taste everything.
Oh my God! Okay, if he's got 2 restaurants, this is simple. This is simple. You find out what night he's working at one, you go to the other.
Yeah.
Again, the other one, oh, we're going to try the other one. He's not there, you go to the other one.
Awesome.
Done.
And there are probably, depending on the style of restaurant, there are probably things that society dictates have to taste a certain way. You know, so you're probably not going to get a funky mac and cheese.
Right. Yes.
So, and of course, the simplest answer, and one that we have all had to do from time to time, is just lie.
Just lie. Yeah. Store all. If it's really you can't. It's unedible. Just put it in your napkin.
Yeah, and if you don't feel like lying, then you just find something positive, and everybody's been through that. I mean, I've certainly been in plays that I've asked friends to come to see that they didn't like, and they always say things like, "Oh, the costumes were great."
Yes.
So you can always say, "Wow, the utensils were very functional.
The water was very fresh.
Nothing fell out of my spoon. It was amazing."
The help was great. The decor. And the ambiance.
Yes, but remember, in
Amazing.
the help, they did serve a shit pie. So
yeah. But anyway, switch it off so you don't have to. Because you know what? That's also embarrassing. If you expect to go and you have to meet with the chef, to me, you just want to go and eat. If you want a glad hand, that's another. To meet the chef, I wouldn't. If you want to just go and eat. Unless they're going to give it to you for free, which they're not going to.
No, I recently, a friend of mine opened a pizza restaurant, and we had to go. And he has a wood firing stove that he's doing pizzas in, which is usually great. But he's using hickory wood, and so smoking the pizzas.
Yeah.
And not only is he over baking them, his oven's too hot. And so everything's coming out really dark. It has this, even if you just got like a plain mozzarella pizza, it has this overly smoky flavor, and you just want to brush your teeth.
Yeah. I won't name a restaurant near my house, but the chef will come in, or the manager will come in, and he brought in lasagna, and it stunk up our shop because it was all burnt. And he brought over pizza, and it was like, I think too, they have it too hot because it's like burnt crispy, but then it was like moist inside.
Oh, that's way too hot then.
Yeah. And the weird thing is he's in a plaza, so that they have to spray the inside to get rid of the creosote. And it just smells into the other shops.
I've already used a little profanity on here, but are we allowed to use?
Yes.
Because when I first learned to cook, one of my bosses informed me of a phrase that has served me well working in restaurants throughout all years, and that's food should come out GFB, golden fucking brown. And if it's not golden fucking brown, you've done something wrong.
Wow. Yeah, I like that. Hopefully that helps you, Kevin. Good. Bon appetit.
Now, JJ, was that pizza? Was it too hot to handle and too cold to hold?
Yes, it's called burnt pizza, and it's out of control.
Nicely done, sir. All right. Staying on the topic of food, we have yet another.
See, aren't you glad we waited a whole month for you?
Yes, but are you?
Hey, Ross,
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go. Here's another food-related question.
Hey, Rox, this is Amy.
And Joe.
And we're kind of recently on a health kick, and we're really broke.
As you probably know.
And we were wondering, are there any good heart-healthy hobo recipes?
Yeah, but sometimes you can't. I get low blood sugar, and sometimes I'm not home to cook things.
Yeah, and beans really have a lot of sodium. If they're
we need low carb and low sodium kind of recipes like that.
We have a nice campfire we can throw things on.
Yeah.
So do you have any suggestions for us?
Yes, it's heart healthy hobo recipes.
Thanks, Rox. We love you.
Yeah, I love you.
Bye.
Lentils are really good. They don't take that long to cook, right?
No.
JJ?
No, in fact, you can put them raw into bread, and they'll add extra protein to bread. If you're trying to watch your protein to carb ratio and you still want bread, you can either use lentil flour or you can use whole lentils, and it does a lot of good protein in there.
Beans are good. Well, you know what? If you're lazy, okay, and you are going to do that, here's a can of beans. You know what? Rinse them off. I know that they're like, even the vegetarian bush ones, what you can do is drain them, and there's still flavor. There's like way too much flavor in those things. So you can actually drain them. So you can get rid of some of the sodium and stuff. You can try that. Go to your farmer's market. If you have a farmer's market near you, visit it. Visit it. Because, if you buy, like I have a farmer's market near me, and I'll spend like $10 for the week, and you're picking up, cucumbers and stuff like that. And so you can make a really cool veggie type thing. Cooking, I know with sort of that, I don't know if you guys are doing that 4-hour body thing. I know it's been floating around the Need Coffee, back room for some time. You could eat your, as much broccoli and like cauliflower. Cauliflower is not the bad white food as far as starches. So you can have as much cauliflower as you want. And apparently you can actually mash it so that it's like a potato, the consistency of potatoes.
That's roasted first, but yeah.
Yeah, roasting, yeah. So, keep things simple. If you want, I know you guys are on a budget. If you have a spice shop, that helps a lot. Like if you pick up like a little thing of chervil, it's really good. It's from Belgium or somewhere, and it's a nice little spice. Chives and stuff. You can also start your own garden, just with simple herbs. Pick up a basil plant, pick up rosemary, thyme, and you have them on your little counter, and you can cut those, You get
parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
And thyme, yeah. So use those. What do you think? You're a veterinarian.
Well, the nice thing is about a lot of hobo food or poor people food in a lot of cultures is it does kind of fit those criteria. They're not that bad for you because most people can't afford the stuff that's not bad, that's not good for you. The best thing I would recommend is if your local grocery store doesn't sell in bulk. I'm very lucky here. Our big grocery store has a big bulk section, but you probably have a store in your area because you guys live in a big enough area. If I remember correctly, they live in the Atlanta area.
Yeah,
there's bound to be a place there that has things that sell in bulk.
Yeah.
And so the nice thing about that is you're buying as much or as little as you need, which is the best way to buy spices. But it also takes the staples that you normally buy of things like grains and beans and stuff, and it cuts the cost in like half over like canned goods. Especially if you're talking about something like lentils that you can just throw in a pressure cooker, or hell, lentils you can just throw in a pot and they're ready in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I stuck with the lentils because I know that they are pretty quick. I know that with you guys going on a health food thing, which is happening, you may want to think about. And I know you guys might have like somebody's busy on the weekend is planning ahead for the week. I know some people hate that, but if you start, you don't even have to do a full meal. You can like start your something to have because I know like 3 beans. What is it? 7 bean soup. Don't use the little packet of ham bits. It does take a while because you're soaking the beans. You can do that ahead of time, store them in the fridge, and then go ahead and use them later on. I guess stay away from your rices if you're, stay away from your starches. But yeah, your legumes, but go to a farmer's market.
And also, if you are having problem, because I sometimes get problems with blood sugar too, and my problem is, especially as a bigger person who is trying to eat less, when your blood sugar gets low, you're just like, oh my God, I'm shaky and freaky, and you want food. If you're, but the thing to remember is you really don't need nearly as much as you want. And so, a handful of raw almonds will take care of that.
But watch it on that because I know you got to watch on how much almonds you're going to take.
Yeah, what you do
because they're loaded with calories, just so you know.
Yeah, but I mean, they're a different. Well, depending on your food philosophy, they're a different kind of calorie. Yeah. But if just when you're not hungry and you're not low blood sugary, you get a small Ziploc bag and put maybe 10 almonds in there while you still have willpower, and then when you're away. I also know somebody who used to carry hard-boiled eggs for the same reason, but I find eggs disgusting.
Again, with like I said, can't say enough about farmers markets. I've been purchasing like watermelon on Saturday, and it carries me all the way through. And here's the thing: $2.50 at Publix is 59 cents a pound. So you're paying like $5 for a small watermelon. So go to the farmers market.
Yeah, I got fresh tomatoes last week for 79 cents a pound, and they tasted like tomatoes.
Yes. So to shop seasonally too, because then you can pick up your apples and stuff like that. Fresh fruit, berries are in season. I know blackberries and stuff, they get a little bit pricey. Your blueberries, they'll be in season for pretty much all summer long, and those are a good source of little bits of sugar and stuff.
There's a movement that's kind of taking hold called the localvore movement, which basically means that you're eating things that are in your area and they're seasonal. And the nice thing about that is the earth provides what you need at different times of the year where you live. So when it's hot outside, you get more berries and stuff, which help you get more liquid. And when it's winter, you get things that that will help you get a little fatter and you'll survive winter. So if you pay attention also to what is around you, like a good hobo, and scavenge, and remember, sterno will fit in your back pocket. You can cook anywhere.
Yeah. So the only starch you should be using is a long Italian loaf so that you can filter the sterno through so you can actually make a cocktail later on called the squeeze. That's the only time you should use your starch.
All right, guys. I think it's time now when we challenge Rox by having her face off against another professional advice columnist. This time, JJ will be reading. He's got 2 from Dear Prudie, which is found on...
Oh, I like her. She's on Slate.
Yes, she's on Slate. Dear
You're going to make her my nemesis. Okay,
All
go
right,
ahead.
So, JJ, why don't you go ahead and take away the first question that we have.
Okay. Without being too graphic, lately, several pairs of my underwear have gone missing. I'm married to a man with 2 teenagers from his first marriage. My stepson and my stepdaughter stay with us each weekend. I'm in my early 30s. Some relatives visited my husband and for the holiday weekend. Some relatives visited my husband and me for the holiday weekend, and some stayed in my stepson's room. While cleaning his room for their arrival, I discovered several pairs of my underwear crammed into a secret space, as well as pictures of me in a bikini. I'm trying not to feel weird around my stepson because I remember unpredictable crushes I developed as a result of my hormones, but I buy nice underwear, and I would like him to stop taking mine. I'm not sure if I should tell my husband about his son's crush and ask him to deal with it, or if I should casually ask my stepson to stop. What do you think the least embarrassing option is?
I think you should leave a note in the underwear saying, "Please return to," I think that would be a good idea too. I was waiting for, her husband was wearing them or something like that. Wow. Yeah, I think a note in that, because it's such an awkward time. It's going to be it seems like her house is full of people, and it'll just be awkward all around. Mm-hmm. Holidays are just, you just don't look at people, and this might just weird him out. Well, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that he actually has photos of her too. You know what? Okay, that's the stepson. I would say not to talk to the dad. I would almost, if you're on a decent term with his mom. Because I think there's that ick factor, I think. It's like, because he might take it the wrong way, the dad. Everybody's going to take it the wrong way.
Oh, telling the dad is the worst thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, because here's the thing is, this young stud kid could be your competition. Either that or you tell the sister.
All right, well, here's
his sister. Tell the sister and tell her,
You're awful.
I know. It's how I help people.
JJ.
Tell the sister.
Any advice, JJ?
Well, your idea of leaving a note wasn't bad, but no, the only person you can talk to is the kid.
All right,
the daughter, his sister.
I have a sister. Well, kind of have a sister. You don't talk to the sister, ever.
Here's what Prudy said. The point is not to ask your stepson to take the jockeys and leave the La Perla? What the heck is that?
I have no idea.
Fancy underwear?
$100 underwear.
Okay. But to deal with the fact that he has crossed some serious boundaries.
Yeah, the photos.
Sure, he's a hormonal teen, and if you're young and you are young and attractive, but as Rock said, yuck, in a low-key, calm way, tell your husband what you found. Encourage him not to hit the roof or be punitive to his son.
No.
Say that as mortifying as it all is, he needs to sit down with the boy, explain what was found, and tell him he knows it's not okay to take his stepmother's private things. And after all, then after that, be as normal and as welcoming as possible. Acting as if nothing happened will be a good skill for your stepson to learn.
Okay, that's her problem right there. She didn't bring up the fact about the photos. I mean, okay, stealing the underwear, okay, but there's the photo thing. And I'm sorry. She's the second wife. There's a reason why she's the second wife. Stuff might be a little better than with the first wife in the bedroom. The dad doesn't want competition from his son.
Yeah, and
if not, what will happen? We'll have to hire the 13-year-old private eye.
Pretty much just assured a teen suicide.
Yeah. Either that or murder, and then there you go. Cynical 13-year-old, you have a murder on your hands.
And actually, as I was hearing you read that, John, I realized what I'm now thinking she should do is take her photo back. Leave the underwear, whatever.
Yeah, I think
leave a series of free porn sites. And get other visual material, and he'll just wean himself off the underwear.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a thing.
Here's some.
Leave him some underwear sites.
You could use my password.
Yeah, really. Here's a Visa gift card. This will be good for 30 days at your choice of porn site.
Yeah. Don't tell Dad.
JJ has another one from Prudence.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I've been dating Adam, who is 10 years younger or 10 years older than me and in his 40s, for about a year. He's a great guy with a stressful job who always treats me right and wants me to be happy. I feel like he's quite a catch. The problem is that while during the week he's a hard-working, sober man, he gets drunk every Friday and or Saturday night. Every weekend. He drinks almost 10 beers on a Friday. Just 10. And then a bottle of wine. Oh, okay. And then a bottle of wine plus a few more beers on the next night. Although most of the time he drinks excessively only one night of the weekend. He's very good friends with his neighbors, who also drink quite a bit, and most of his friends love to drink. It's almost like a joke, this adoration they have with all this beer and wine, and it makes me very uncomfortable. I worry that he abuses alcohol and that he's one tragedy away, say the death of a loved one, from being an alcoholic. I don't drink more than 2 or 3 cocktails a week, and sometimes I feel like I'm being hypersensitive about it. I tried telling him by asking, "Why do you need to drink so much?" And his reply was, "I don't even think I drink that much." Even though he's a nice drunk, not obnoxious or rude or loud, his answer scares the hell out of me. Am I blowing this out of proportion? I love him, and I'm starting to think about our future together.
Dump his ass. All right, here's the thing. I have been in a younger, older relationship, and he's not respecting you as a young person, okay? Because if he's 40, he wants somebody younger to make him feel like he's at least 30. He's not respecting your age of what you bring to the fantasy relationship of this whole older, younger, situation. So I say dump his ass. Really. Because if he's staying drunk all weekend long, you're working too.
She said one day of the weekend, not both days. Usually it's only one.
Okay, so but it's 2. When you consider you're drinking all day Saturday, Sunday's a wipeout. Because he's got a hangover, unless he's like one of those weird people that I don't have a hangover on Sunday. But then it's Sunday, then there's football or golf or something else that takes him out of the picture. So I'm saying there's 2 days that he is taken away from her.
Okay.
Right? Yes. So I would dump him. And find another 40-year-old guy. You know what? There's a lot of 40-year-old guys that would like you. Okay, yes. There's a bunch of all older guys that would worship you, just because you're young, perky. Take advantage of that.
They can feed up your lifeblood.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, here's what Prudy says. He's not one anything away from being an alcoholic. He is an alcoholic.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
It's not a coincidence. Yeah, there you go. It's not a coincidence or a joke that all his friends have similar proclivities. It's because booze is their guiding principle. If you want your future to involve calls from the police that your husband has been arrested for a DUI, then that future is yours. And if Adam is getting behind the wheel after 10 beers, take away his keys. You would do us all a favor by reporting him as an impaired driver to the DMV.
It's if you want to stay with him.
Yeah.
I say dump him. Dump him.
Oh, man.
And hit the bars for the next 40-year-old.
I can't.
Oh, my God. You know what? I bet you that's where she found that guy.
Let me ask you, JJ, what is the most amount of beers you drink in a night? I can't imagine getting a 10.
Ooh, when I was younger and really enamored with the idea of being a tragic Irish American artist, and you wanted to be in that, I want to be found dead on the road before I'm 30. I will be Eugene O'Neill. The thing is, I used to start early in the day, and I don't remember. Okay, I lived in Auburn, Alabama, and Alabama is a fairly backwards state in lots of ways. But one of the things they did is they actually had beer on tap at the local convenience store that you could take an empty gallon jug, and it was only like $2 for a gallon of beer.
Wow, your own growler.
Yeah, so I remember on one particular occasion, being the very classy gentleman that I am, just drinking beer out of the gallon jug all day. And, I started at probably 11 o'clock in the morning, had some friends over, and I know I went through 2 gallons during the day, and then went to a party that night, at which point they had a keg, so I had, more there. And I honestly, it's one of the few times I can honestly say that I don't remember the evening that much, although I do know I woke up with my face in their rose bushes.
Is that a euphemism?
I wish. Getting thorns out of my face for a week.
Wow.
But that's the worst I ever got, and that was kind of the day that I went, I don't like this. I'm not going to do this again. So now I'm much more of a moderate. But I would say in my heyday, I could have done 10 easily, probably more.
Ugh, I don't think I could have ever gotten that much. Well, you're probably then the perfect guest expert then for this next question. Here we go. Here is someone asking about some help. Well, here, I'll just let you listen.
Rox, this is a question for you. Because me and my crew, my posse, if you would rather, were this weekend afflicted with a hangover. So I was wondering if you could give me some advice on how to A, avoid the hangover, B, how to deal most effectively with the hangover, and C, how to then reinvent the hangover so that you can do it all again but not quite be in so much pain. So if you could help me with that, that'd be great. Thanks.
My dad said good alcohol will never hurt you. So I used that during my college years.
Your dad was an alcoholic, wasn't he?
No, he was not. No. It was weird. My dad would, I think I saw my dad take like a beer every once in a while, but my dad was like a Green Beret guy. So, anyway, no. But the thing is he said good liquor will never hurt you. So that's where I went with the well drinks and stuff. But what I would do is I would start the evening off with a Gatorade just to hydrate you ahead of time. And I would stick to the really good well drinks and stuff. And then, of course, later on, the whole water. And I would always do a mixture of Gatorade as well. But good alcohol will never hurt you. At Dragon Con, this is sort of funny, real quick. One of my hotel neighbors, they had like 6 people in this small little hotel room, and this was in the Hyatt. It was in the Radius Tower, and there were people everywhere. These people did not know what they were doing. There was like crappy peach schnapps and stuff. Anyway, they were making loud noise. So I went over and they're like, "Oh, we're really sorry." I said, "Well, you can pour me a drink." And so we were all chatting, and there was one girl that started throwing up. I'm like, "You don't want her on her back." I mean, this is how bad it was. They just didn't, it's like, "Oh, we're here at Dragon Con. We're gonna, just, go get blotto." So. They had just bad alcohol. I said, first off, you guys are all going to be ill just from the shit beer and alcohol you brought. I mean, it was like night train type crap. It was just all bad. So I was a good person. I went down to the convenience store and brought back up Gatorade. I said, okay, everybody, you need to drink this before you go to bed. Because you guys are all going to get sick.
Yeah, because at
And
least
I
if
don't
you're
want
going
to
to
hear
be
that tomorrow.
at least if you're going to be sick, you want the colors to be interesting.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. So to stop, I don't. Have you ever found a really good remedy other than drinking responsibly so that you don't? That's what I do. That's my caveat: is drinking responsibly so you don't have that hangover.
Well, and the honest to God's truth, I've never had a hangover. I don't get them. I never. I no matter what I have done I have woken up drunk the next morning, but I have never ever gotten a hangover.
Lucky.
Now,
Wow.
I would say what your father told you is better than what I learned, which is the whole was it liquor then beer? You're in the clear. Beer then liquor gets sicker quicker.
Oh yeah.
But no, but if I do now, although I don't get hangovers, I still like to kind of pace myself. Mm-hmm. And generally, what I do as a rule of thumb is, if I'm out with people and I know there are going to be multiple drinks and stuff, I'll get like 2 pints and then I get a glass of water, and I won't allow myself to drink. I won't allow myself to order another drink until I finish the water. And that's just because I sleep better. Because the thing about alcohol is even when you pass out, you don't get restful sleep, and because I regulate my life to a point where sleep is a precious commodity. When I actually lie down, I need it to be good sleep. So I mean that's what I tend to do. But yeah, no, as far as like magic remedies and stuff, I've never had to seek them out.
Yeah, sorry. I haven't either.
The best cure for hangovers is to have Irish American grandparents. I don't know what to tell you.
Or German ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, both my grandparents died of alcoholism, so I had it forced into my genes before I was even born.
Wow. Yeah. Just pace yourself.
Yes.
Just pace yourself. Yeah.
Now,
and don't buy crap beer.
Now, Rox, I just want to
anyway.
I just want to get clarification. Your dad said good liquor will never hurt you, right? He didn't say good
right.
liquor, she won't hurt you. Right? I just want to make sure we're clear on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of licking, here's one that I'm not quite sure what this question is, so I'll let you listen and then we can figure it out together. I've listened to it several times trying to figure out what he said, but anyway, here we go. It's quick, so you got to listen.
Hello. My question is that our holes just aren't big enough, and I don't know what to do about that. What should I do about my holes not being big enough?
His holes?
That's what I thought. Hold on. Let me play it one more time.
Hello. My question is that our holes just aren't big enough, and I don't know what to do about that. What should I do about my holes not being big enough?
That's what I hear.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that they're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it's a portable hole that they can't fit their whole party through. So I'm going to tell them to go to the magic store and get a hole extender.
Now, is it a hole in the ground to fit a dead body? What you need to do is dig the hole a little bigger. Is it the hole in your pocket from like Yellow Submarine? Right? I don't know.
Get enough of them, they can fill the Alfred Hall.
Yes. Yeah.
Albert Hall, excuse me. Oops. Childhood.
Shame on you.
I know.
Oh my gosh, unless you're building booby traps in your yard, okay? And if you want people to step in them, what you need to do is like find a neighbor that has a size 13 foot, okay? And what you can do is you get a pencil and some string, and that'll give you a diameter that you can poke into the ground, and you can sort of like sketch out an area for a hole in the ground if that's what you want to do, since we're really not sure, so that you can build these like little death traps in your yard so people won't be skulking in.
And as a strictly Portland answer, if it's that, because people here are really big into tribal markings and stuff. So if the hole in your earlobe is not big enough. Now, I have known people that have gone through the shortcut of getting their ears cored, which basically means they go into your earlobe with a hole puncher and just knock out a hole. Now, that is a shortcut, but your earlobes bleed. So if you really want to get, to do that, you have to take the time, which means you slowly upgrade to a larger grade of earring, and you can get as big as you want to go, but with patience. So that's what I would say is just don't rush anything.
And if you're talking about the holes in your ears, okay. Now, I was at a firehouse sub. And there was a guy, and he had his dowel things out. So they were all loopy and droopy. The first thing I thought of is, if I stood right behind him, I can just wham! And just put my fingers in the ears and just yank them back. So you may want to rethink on how big the holes really need to be.
Or you could ride him like a horse.
That's true.
Yeah. So if you don't want me to inflict pain on you, think small holes.
Yeah, because if they're big enough, you're just going to take the Sunday paper.
My God, my fingers zip.
Oh God,
zip.
You're evil.
Welcome to the show.
We have just a couple more questions, a couple more voicemails, but before we go that far, JJ, why don't you go ahead and give her the next set of Rocks versus the Professionals. This is from what the heck is the name of this thing? Since You Asked, which is a Carry Tennis over on Salon.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. So this is a letter like you probably receive 10 times a day. This is beginning like a Penthouse letter, and I never thought it would happen to me. Sorry. Okay, this is a letter like you probably receive 10 times a day, and I never thought I would write asking for advice, but here it goes. I got married young at 22, and I have been with my husband for over a decade, no kids. He is brilliant, funny, caring, handsome, ellipses, pretty much everything anyone would ever want in a partner. But for the past 3 years, though, we have grown apart. Schedules are a part of it. We're both really busy and grad students, now professionals. But also a failure to really communicate and address his problems between us. Oh, and address problems. She didn't say his, excuse me. But a failure to really communicate and address problems between us. Sex was always an issue, but I didn't really know what was wrong since I hadn't had partners before. I knew we should probably do it more, but it never really did anything for me, so I assumed I was basically not sexual. Fast forward to this year, when I was away from home for 3 months for a work opportunity, and I met an amazing man. Incredibly bright, devastatingly funny, etc. He's also a fantastic communicator and was able to help me talk about all kinds of difficult issues, ones that I would normally sweep under the rug. We had an affair, and I fell in love. When I came home, I told my husband about it, expecting, maybe even halfway hoping, that he would get incredibly angry and storm out and leave me and blow up our marriage, and I would deal with the fallout amongst our friends and family, who would be shocked beyond belief.
And I realized I forgot to send the rest to JJ.
That is
so
true.
Allow me to finish. Instead of raging, he became incredibly supportive and even more loving and emotionally available and communicative. He went out of his way to... sorry, I was also switching something over here. He went out of his way... Where was I? To show me what our future could look like together, agreeing that the past few years have been challenging for both of us and that we both weren't trying. At first, it was so difficult. I continued to talk to the other man regularly. He was supportive and available, never pressuring me for any kind of commitment. Of course not, I just want sex. Sorry. I started seeing a therapist. I involved a couple of close friends and family as supports. I thought I was lining up my ducks to separate and consider a new life, one that where there was understanding and passion, and where I could start a new relationship without the old hang-ups. My husband is moving soon. A planned move where I would join him in a few months. and now the rubber meets the road, and I feel stuck. I love two men, both equally incredible.
Oh, bullshit.
One I still see like a brother, whom I trust and with whom I have made many great relationships, but that I do not and have not for some time feel desire for. I am afraid that a future with him will continue to feel rather numb or rote. The other is one who shares my passion, who loves me completely, and whom I can see a bright future with, but for
All right,
whom
cut to the chase.
I have to change. Okay, here's her point. All of us deserve an end to this uncertainty and this email. We are all suffering because of this email.
We are all suffering.
I can't move forward. I try to ignore the external issues weighing on this momentous decision, but it's impossible. Any insight is helpful here. I'm looking for under every rock to add perspective to this heartache. Thank you very much. Adrift.
All right, first off, how much school loans do you people have? Apparently she's in grad school. So is he, right? That's what I'm guessing. That's what I get from this.
I think I may have given you that idea, but I got the impression from reading it that they were actually graduated, because it did say now professionals.
Okay, well, okay. Either way, they are now faced with probably an insurmountable amount of loans. Okay. You know, when all of a sudden you're faced with these giant bills and stuff, you know, sometimes you just don't want to think about sex. Here's the thing. Your husband might have low testosterone. The first thing that I know from reading Ann Landers, she would say have him have a physical. You know, there might be something amiss that way. You know, just a change in vitamins and stuff like that. This guy seems like a really great guy. 10 years, and you're just going with the new guy. You already probably have like your income tied up with the stable guy and stuff. Maybe he's gay.
She's already made up her mind.
Yeah, she's gonna leave.
She's out.
You're out. You're right.
If it was just sexual, she would have bought a vibrator by now.
Yeah. Obviously, she doesn't know herself too. That's the thing. She doesn't know what pleases herself, because you can only. First off, you can only make yourself happy first. You can't make other people happy. Just saying. So she's already checked out. Yeah.
If you tickle them, you can give the illusion of being happy because they're laughing.
That's right. Yeah. So she's already checked out. I'm with JJ on this one. She's checked out. Just go with the other guy.
Well, here's what Carrie says. Go slowly. That's my advice. Your feelings are going to change. You do not know exactly how they are going to change, but one side will come to the fore. I'm going to skip ahead because he's almost as long as she is in his answer. Keep seeing your therapist. Keep talking to your friends. During this period, it will also help to adopt some kind of...
Well, it sounds like her entire friend family base knows that they have a problem. Right?
Yeah,
it sounds like it. She's told everybody, including the janitor at her school.
Also keep in mind when things are hard and unclear that you are working with your weak side. Have you ever noticed how some people who do not seem to be intellectually gifted nevertheless seem to have the gift for managing relationships with others? Not really. How do you know instinctively how you feel and how others are feeling? How can you easily
skip ahead to say go with the new guy?
Yeah.
Basically, it was the last two lines are: you have been successful in one kind of graduate school, but this is a different kind of graduate school.
Okay, we don't use her. Don't use her for salon. She's boring.
It's a guy. It's a guy.
A guy.
Okay.
Oh my God! Really?
Yes. But here's
all right. If you're gonna use a guy, use Savage. The guy from Savage Love. Use that guy.
Would have told you to dump both guys and get a vibrator.
Here's the kicker. Here's the last line. This is the graduate school of the heart.
Oh, boo! No. Don't use this guy, John.
As somebody who has been in the same relationship for a long time, my girlfriend and I, we met in school. We've been together forever, and if the idea of actually having an affair, the amount of emotional, like, you have to emotionally separate to the point of going that far. You know, if I could emotionally separate that far, there's way other many problems that I would already think are going on.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so, you know, if you are going to betray someone to that point, you've already checked out. So just check out. I mean, I that is one thing that I will say is one of the things that just drives me absolutely crazy, and that's people who cheat on other people. And the idea somehow that we are hardwired to not be faithful. You know, just, if you're gonna check out, check out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be fair to the other guy. He seems like a nice guy. Oh my God, here we go. We solved another problem. Chick that's 20 years old. This guy's around in his 30s. Perfect.
Yeah.
He doesn't drink. He's got a job. He's a professional now. There you go.
Not to toot my own horn, but 22 years in my current relationship. So.
Hey.
All right. So speaking of
kind of in common, because my girlfriend and I have been together for 20. So hey.
Yay!
Speaking of long-term relationships, here's someone who's going to the beginning of one.
Help me, Rox. I'm going up to a wedding on a military base in Virginia, and I'm not sure what the proper wedding etiquette is. Also, this is going to be with a bunch of friends I've known for about 6 or 7 years now, but I feel they don't truly know me because they have not seen me naked. So, what is the most appropriate way to streak a wedding on a military base? I was thinking of just going kind of the traditional golf streaking and 8-19 hole on my back pointing towards my ass, but maybe I should paint a flag on there somewhere. Let me know. Thanks.
Okay, he's going to a wedding on a military base. Did he say streaking?
Yes, he said that he's known these people for about 6 years, but they don't know him well enough because they haven't seen him naked.
Okay.
Yes. So what's appropriate way to streak on a military base? At a wedding, nonetheless.
Once it starts getting dark, that's the perfect time to do it. Right before the bride and groom leave. Oh my God, that's a perfect time. Okay, they're going to be leaving. Everybody's heading out to wish them well. And all you have to do is you do it off into the distance. So, you know, as they're saying goodbye, you're just this streak. And everybody will be like, who was that? What was that? Was that person naked? That's the time to do it. Right when it's dusk. Because then they wouldn't really know it's you.
But it's a wedding, so you have to tie tin cans to your butt.
Yes.
Now you should be the expert with the naked bike riding that goes on in Portland.
It just happened 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I ride a bike, but I ride a bike with pants on. I would think though you need to be prepared depending on the branch of armored service.
Yes, if it's
because if it's Air Force or Marines, you know, there might be even other people streaking. You might have to be in line. But wait, I said Marines. Excuse me. I meant to say if it's Air Force or Navy. But if it's Army or Marines, you might as well just kick yourself in the face because it's going to happen.
Somebody will.
Yeah.
Somebody will. You know, just saying. So that's the proper etiquette. I think towards dusk. You know, when it's late. Because everybody's been drinking. And you know what? As we've learned, nobody really has paced themselves, especially if it's an open bar. Everybody's blotto. And nobody will remember you streaking, except you'll show up in the pictures later on.
Yeah, and if you wrap a little bit of crepe paper like around your groin, then you can say, I was kind of dressed.
Yeah, like a little bow.
Yeah, it's festive for the wedding.
And as long as you steal a streamer that's in the bride's colors, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
In fact, if you can really pull if you can really pull a coup, wear the bride's garter.
Yeah. There you go.
Speaking of bride's garters, this has nothing to do with that. Here you go.
So jump for that garter.
Tell me, Rox, Scott White, what items do I need on my desk to be more like Batman? Because the better I piss off my coworker, the better. Okay, bye.
So the items to be more like Batman?
I believe he said, what items do I need on my desk to be more like Batman in order to piss off his coworkers, apparently.
Oh, you need a red phone. And you need that. Oh my gosh. What you need is that Shakespeare head that tilts off and it's got the little button. That's awesome.
But remember, Batman's a detective, so he should probably study with cynical 13-year-old.
That's right.
Call back.
Call back.
Speaking of calling back, we do have one more from Scott.
Tell me, Rocks. Can you get Wedge of NeedCoffee.com to check that stupid Weekend Justice voicemail that you guys set up for episode 100? I know you're up to 61, 62, I think. I don't really remember because I've been painstakingly going through the Weekend Justice Need Coffee podcast background, and oh my God, it's just mush, and I don't know what to do anymore. And I took a break, and an idea came to me, and I called Widge because you guys have that hotline. But then I realized he doesn't really check it. So can you please have him check it, please? Thanks. Bye.
I did. We played your...
It's me, Scott White, your favorite Junkanin. See, I don't even know. I spent so much time listening to you guys that I just started talking like you. Okay, bye.
Yes, you have really good pauses. You have pauses like I do. That makes absolutely no sense. We did play your message, Scott White.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Rox is already on top of it.
Episode, I don't know. Are we 180? What are we now?
I have no idea.
We're up there, Scott.
You're at like 163 or so.
Thank you. This is from a guy that's not really on our show. Thank you.
No, but I know that I passed you guys a while ago, so I know you less than I.
Well, that's because you podcast 3 times out of the week?
I podcast once a week, but I just don't skip. You guys occasionally take vacations.
We're on 165. In fact, we are taking a vacation for the 4th of July week.
Yeah, and that's for planning.
For DragonCon, in fact.
Yeah, to make your DragonCon better.
Yes.
So, Scott White, you need to come to DragonCon one time. There you go. Then you can leave us all the drunken messages at our hotel.
And you can make Wedge listen to anything you want.
Yeah.
Hey, Wedge!
Or you could take Wedge to dinner. That would be awesome. Then you could talk to him for hours.
That should be the next Need Coffee contest. Take Wedge to dinner.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see, where are we at? Okay, so I think that's all of our calls there, Rox.
Really? I thought a friend of mine said that she left a message she had a problem with a curse.
She had a problem with a curse?
Yeah, she wound up getting a gypsy curse bestowed upon her.
Okay, JJ, why don't you tell us about the things you're doing while I go and look and see if there's it's possibly someplace else.
Okay. Well, I am. I'm currently sitting here on the podcast with you. No, the latest things that I have been kind of playing with, Aaron, who's on a lot of Need Coffee stuff, and I have been discussing our mutual love of superhero movies. So we are doing. I don't really think you should call them commentaries, but we are watching the film and commenting on them.
Okay.
And we've done one. The first one we did was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man film, and we're doing another one next week. And so we're going to stay with the genre of superhero films and kind of speak of them as we go. And so that's our new thing. It's on the website of Doom. It's called The Drive-In.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, I hope so.
Not necessarily snarky or anything.
No,
since we're in a snarky kind of world.
Yes, but I think that first of all, we do generally like them, but there are definitely some that succeed and some that don't, and you can call them on the ones that succeed and ones that don't. We were kind of looking back at 2000's Spider-Man. It's been 12 years now, and I don't know that it's necessarily
12 years.
I know.
That's
actually
horrifying.
not 12 years. It came out after September 11th because there was the big hoo-ha with the Twin Towers. So it came out in 2002. So it's been 10 years. I
like Cliff Roberts.
I do too. And I think Martin Sheen's going to be kind of odd in the one that comes out in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, then, oh my God, I know Sally Field is Aunt May. That's just weird. Weird. You want somebody old that looks like Aunt May from the comic books. And that one, you know what? I don't even know her name. That old lady that played Aunt May. I liked her.
Rosemary Harris. She is amazing.
Yeah, she was good. Yes. You know who could have played that? It was like Joanne Woodward, too. She's got that look. She could have been good, too. But she's gone.
I don't seem to have that.
Well, okay. Well, I know she will listen, and she kind of gave me the gist. Okay.
That's cheating, Rocks.
Well, we game, and she was like, I got this. Okay, what had happened was, on the perimeter of her workspace is she wound up coming across a sort of a gypsy dream catcher. Okay, that there was a gypsy funeral at the funeral home right next to where she works. And the unfortunate thing is she didn't call us to say, hey, there's this gypsy funeral for 3 days. So I asked her, I'm like, oh, hey, well, did they leave anything? She's like, yeah, they left this strange dream catcher. So she took a picture of it, and inadvertently she got bit up by some strange bug. So now she thinks it's a gypsy curse. So it was like one of those. So it's like, help me, Rox. I have a gypsy curse. So it's like a synopsis. So, Carol, how you should get rid of a gypsy curse is you need to fight it old magic to old magic. Okay? Gypsy people are ancient. They know things we don't know. So what you need to do, you need to go to a large city that has like a little Italy. Okay? Now you can do this 2 ways. You could do good fighting evil. Okay? We'll say this curse was evil because you got all this bit up and everything else like that. And, you're just cursed because you touched something. Anyway, you can go to Little Italy and you find a good witch. And what they're called is Benedante. They're called good walkers. Okay? And what you could do is you can give your money to them and they can probably remove the curse from the gypsies because you interfered with their area of protection from you, who's white Southern woman, and they can probably remove the curse because it's old magic against old magic. Or you could do what I would like to do, and I think you get a better bang for your buck, is fighting evil with evil. And what you don't need to do, again, you need to go to a large city that has an Italian Little Italy, and you need to find an Strega. A strega is witch in Italian. Okay, now you can have the good witches and the bad. A strega is more on the evil witch. So, as we saw in the movie Thinner, I think you get more bang for your buck. Even though this removing the curse might inflict the fact that you might be living with your spleen outside of your body, but I think it'd be more interesting. So either way, you need to go to a large city that has an Italian population.
So if you get a really, really old Italian witch, is she a Stregosaurus?
Yes.
The other thing they could do, they could stop believing in curses.
Yes.
No.
Or you could just,
it's not possible on this show.
Can't you just play nothing but Stevie Nicks and ward off the evil magic that way?
Yeah, no.
Just like a white-winged dove. Sounds like a song. Just
I know. The thing is if she went to a new age place, they would just, load her up with $400 worth of candles that will do no good.
What if you decide to go real old school evil though? I bought at a Wiccan store. I have a medallion of Loki that I sometimes wear.
Of course you do.
When I need, that extra little bit of chaos.
Or if you want Hulk to come and smash you, one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always want to see
Beauty
Hulk.
God, yes.
All right, I think that
So find an evil witch.
And give her a sandwich, just 'cause.
Yeah.
if you give it an evil witch sandwich, she's going to want a
And
cookie.
you know what? Next time, Carol, give us a call. If there's a gypsy funeral that, they invited. Okay, here's the thing. They invited her to come over and eat with them. I told her it's good luck to be, getting food from a gypsy. Oh, and Bill and earlier on, if you have gypsies and they're willing to give you food, eat with them. That'll help.
If anyone wants to draw, if you give an evil witch a cookie, I'll be happy to write it.
Yeah.
And by the way, eating gypsies, not the best idea.
Yeah.
I think that was the plot of Drag Me to Hell too.
Gypsy.
All right, so
No, it was all about a loan. It's all about a loan. That one chick didn't give out a loan.
Rox, where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me at needcoffee.com on the Weekend Justice podcast. Sometimes you can find me on the Unique Geek Show. Or you can find me on Rocks of Spaz House No E on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook for Sam Tinkle. There you go. Woo!
And JJ?
You can find me at the website of Doom or over the incredibly creative name on Twitter at JJ Hawkins.
All right, if you've got a problem, you can't solve it. God help us all, there's Rox. She's here for you.
Evil helping evil.
Even if you don't want her. Until next time, it's John for NeatCoffee.com saying, help me, Rox!
Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Hello. We helped people tonight.
Did. And apparently John's wearing a cowboy hat?
I don't see that.